Hello everyone, Jonathan here. I just want to make a video, as I said with my last one, where I would go pretty much as a postmortem to the playtest that happened yesterday, so Thursday, November 24th, 2016, where I showed off my game to a bunch of people at some local event, and there's a few things that have been pointed out, and I just want to walk it through in this video just to document it as well and see what has been said out of it. Um, So the game starts this way, where you're stuck in a room, and basically the ship is supposed to break down. So with the audio, I don't think it's going to be noticeable on the video, but there's some sort of music that plays as if the ship was being like it was moving, and it kind of breaks down, and then the door opens. At first, obviously, a lot of people were trying to walk away, like, and they tried to go that direction. They couldn't move, and they didn't quite catch that when the door opened that they could go down here. And I think that's one issue with the perspective, because it's very hard to show off that there's an actual door down here. So it might need to be fixed some way. Maybe by putting the door on the side might actually be a good way to do it. And there might be some doors in the back, like in the bottom, but that will be better introduced than when it is the first section of the game. Also, obviously here, I knew there was going to be some issues, but I could clearly see it. So people didn't quite understand what they could do here. They would try to walk around these things and then not really notice it. And basically we need to push this block down here in order to open the path. And this was to teach the player that they can move the block down there, but it wasn't super clear. Also, the door kind of opens by itself. Could have been nice to also show off that there's a switch down here that when the block goes on it, it would open this. Also add some sort of tooltips to say, okay, you can now interact with this box. So as some way of tutorials, just to show off that this is something you can touch. Also, was very pointed out that the movement feels very buttery. So it's like you're walking on butter. So if I do, especially like this, you can clearly see it doesn't feel super smooth. And even though the movement is not slippery, it's just that the animation makes it look that way. So I think it's an issue with the model I have right now and the animation set that comes with it. So I don't think that it is much of an issue in the future, because we most likely will change the character, but it's still something that was pointed out a lot. It feels like you're sliding all the time. Also, first puzzle, it seemed like most people didn't quite get that the block could go up here and then on the left here. So instead of pushing it up, most people would end up pushing it down and then kind of get stuck because this block is now in a corner. So they had to reset the room and then realize like you can go up. So two solution here is either remove the pipes here or make it obvious, maybe in a room before it, that you can actually go behind those pipes and it's not blocked. So if in this map, for example, we had two pipes and you had to go behind them, you might understand that there are like there are visual graphics there, but you can still walk past them. But otherwise, let's do this puzzle. Most people understood that at that point they had to push it up there. Oops. There we go. And then the door opens. Here another issue is this is just a transition area and people expected it to be something. The main focus of this level was to actually show up that there's a window up here and that there's still nothing to see. But that's it. And then you could go back down here and the light was not super obvious, so it might also be good to have a better way of showing people that there's possibly a door down here. This puzzle overall was pretty good, so I'm not gonna go too much about it. It was pointed out that people didn't know they could walk down here, but after the fact they were like, okay, once I understood it, it's fine, like it's not a problem. So that wasn't a problem. And finally here, just some transition area, that's fine. Some people tried to go down here, especially because there's some lighting, especially in this area, so they thought they could come here, but clearly it is not possible, so maybe put more light down here. It is very dark, so most people don't see it right away. And then here, yeah, people knew that something was going wrong, but they don't know right away. And then playing around with those mechanics was not too bad. Some people did it right away. Some people took more time to do it, but overall, I think it was pretty good. Some people thought that when this block was disappearing, the number 4, the door would actually close again. So it might be good to have like the timer freeze on those blocks when like the puzzle is solved, so that they don't feel that the door is gonna close. And then here we can see the reason why the alarm is sounding off, and then it takes a little bit of time before this door opens. This puzzle is interesting. So when I first created this puzzle, the blocks had only 18 seconds on them. And I boosted it up to 28 for this particular playthrough because I felt like it was too hard to begin with. A lot of people might not be able to do like all the different skills that they're required to do it, but normally you're supposed to push both blocks across this way. And the reason is, and if I reset the room, if I push this block here, and I'm gonna do it pretty quickly, but by the time I get at the end, I use pretty much 7 seconds. So if you have 10 less seconds, it's much harder to then do the same thing like this. Actually, I screwed it up, but normally this block would have been up there and the other one go down there. And so most people were able to push both blocks one after the other, but the goal of this puzzle initially was to push them at the same time. So probably we'll bring the timer down again back to 18 when it's in a more complete level. But for now, people thought this puzzle was kind of hard at first, but they most of the time ended up doing it. And the pressure of the timer really worked. People felt like a stress that something was happening, so that was pretty cool. And this puzzle, most people had like a heartburn, I guess, when they first saw it, but then they realized it was actually pretty easy. Most of the blocks only need to be pushed once. One of the comments I had is maybe when you're not moving, the time stops. Because right now most people will try to solve the puzzle at first before they actually start pushing them. But if they could take a break here and the timer would not tick down, it might be better for them. But that's something to see if you want to implement some sort of time-based mechanics. But yeah, most of the comments said that this room was much easier than the puzzle just before. And it's true, this puzzle was actually simplified, so it is much easier than the initial version I had of this thing. And then here, you can see that the planet is getting closer, so you need to actually run back and take control of the ship. And this is something that most people didn't get, so they came back here and didn't quite realize that this was the first room where the ship was at the top here. So one of my ideas, maybe try to make it more obvious that this is something we're going to crash and we need to get away from it. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that, either with more text or make it more obvious that danger is imminent. Maybe have like a voice that says crashing imminent, please take control back of the ship or something like that. And maybe have some sort of landmark in here that is very recognizable, so that when people get back in this room, they understand that this is where they can control the ship. It seems that at the point that they come back at this room, they forgot that the ship is up here and they don't quite get where to go. They think, oh, this door closed, what the hell? And then when they get here, obviously the hell is happening and we're crashing. So overall, I think pretty good. The feedback I got was actually pretty interesting. Most of the feedback was positive. And then we have this final scene where we crash in the forest. This is still not a part of the game, but it will be eventually, so that's why I showed this one off. And that's the end of the level. So I hope you guys like this kind of video where I explain what I learned out of it and what I'm intending to fix out of it. So yeah, if you have any question, if you have any feedback, additional feedback, let me know. And otherwise, I want to invite you guys to subscribe to the newsletter, which is available on the website. If you scroll to the left, you'll see it. Basically, what I want to offer is that people that haven't played the game and didn't have a chance to play it or attend any time of playtest area, I intend to give for free the playtest builds that I pretty much present after the fight so that you guys can play around with it and see it fight by yourself. So hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.